Hi friends, Grace here. I am at Disney's Wilderness Lodge and I am going to work on a ruffle hat inspired by the Disney ears, ghost ears that I posted a little while ago. As I was making the ears, I was hit by inspiration in making a ghost hat as well. I want to show you a little bit of the beautiful place where I am. As my kids swim, I'm just kind of relaxing by the pool. So let's begin. This is what you're going to need. You're going to need a crochet hook. Mine is 4.5 millimeters. Little mini scissors. I like my kitty ones. See the little kitties? I'm just trying to show you what it looks like. So cute. And my glow-in-the-dark yarn. So first we're going to start is by making our little knot. There we go, just like that. Okay, there we go. And we're gonna stitch chain 3. 2, 3, and I am going to insert my hook into the first stitch and pull it through, and I'm going to make 12 double crochets right into the center of this ring that I just made. So to make a double crochet is I'm gonna grab my yarn, pull it in the middle and pull it through, and you should have 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, and you're gonna pass it through the first 2 loops. And then when there's 2 loops, you're gonna pass it through again. Actually, I forgot a step. Okay, so as we pass the first loop, before we make the double crochet, we're gonna chain 1. Actually, we're gonna chain 2. And then we're gonna start making the double crochets and insert them into the middle. So we loop the yarn once, insert it into the middle, grab yarn, pull it through. That should leave you 3 loops in the crochet. And you're gonna pull through twice. So that's a double crochet. Now you need to make 11 more. Loop the yarn, go through once, through the hole, pull it through, get your 3 loops in, pull through the first 2 loops, and then pull once more. That's your second double crochet. So we're going to make 12 of this. Loop the yarn, pull it through the middle, and it's going to be a little tight in there, but trust the process. Pull the yarn through, you'll have your 3 loops. Loop for the first 2 loops, loop 1 more, there's your double crochet. We have 3, let's do 9 more. I'll come back when it's done. 11, 12. So here's my 12th one, double crochet. I am going to attach it to the first stitch, not to the chain itself, but to the stitch right next to it. And I'm gonna grab the yarn, pull it through that stitch. That way we have joined the circle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull on the center so it's nice and tight. And this is what it needs to look like. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna chain 2, 1, 2. I am going to flip my work because otherwise it will look goofy. In every opening, I am going to insert 2 double crochets because now we have to increase the count, double the count. This is the top of the hat. So once again, we're going to grab our yarn, loop it in, put it through. There is 1. I'm going to go into the same stitch, pull it through. 2. Since I have 2 in that stitch, now I'm going to put 2 into the very next one. Loop your yarn, pull it through. Wrap your yarn, put it into the stitch, pull it through. So we have 2 double crochets in each hole. I'm going to stop right now and come back when it's time to close the loop. So I have made 2 double crochets all around. We have 1 stitch left. Remember, we're just looping our yarn, put it through the hole, pass it through the first 2 loops, then the last 2 loops, 1 more stitch, 3 loops that go down to 2 and 1. And now we're going to join, not on the chain, on the stitch right next to it. And you're gonna just pass it through the connecting stitch. Now you're gonna chain twice, and you're gonna flip your work. And now we're going to once again do the 3rd row. We're going to do 2 double crochets in every stitch. And we're gonna start it on the one right next to the chain. So we loop our yarn, put it through the hole, and then you put a double crochet there once again. And we do this all the way until the very end, all around. We'll connect later. It has been recording this whole time. Wow. So I am about to close the loop here. So we wrap once again the yarn, pull it through, and we have in this stitch right here, we're gonna go in I'm actually not gonna do a double crochet here because I started with 2 double crochets right there, and you can tell they're like right there ready to be closed. So I am going to do a slip knot at the top stitch, and I'm gonna just pull it through. Look how cute this looks. We're going to chain 2 and flip our work. And now we're gonna do double crochets all around again, starting with the very first stitch we have right here. that's a little tight, but it's okay. And so keep going straight all around for what would be the 4th row. We continue increasing. And can I call your attention to my shirt? It's Dog. I have a video of him when I met him in Animal Kingdom. I recommend you seeing that video. Alright guys, I'll come back in a minute. I wanted to give you an update. I had started my 4th row doing 2 double crochets in each stitch. However, I did not like how it was starting to look. It almost looked like it started to create a ruffle. So instead what I'm doing now is doing, I started with 2 double crochets and then I followed by 2 single crochets in each stitch and then do 2 double crochets again, and it looks a lot better. So that's what I'm going to do for the 4th row. I'll come back when it's time to join the row right here. Now I'm attaching row 5. And I'm going to chain 2 and flip my work. This is what it looks like. I am thinking about doing this, probably 2 more rows, and then the top of the hat will be done. I suggest doing a double crochet in the stitch right next to, oops, next to the chain, and then actually, you know what, yeah, I think I will. I think I'll do a double crochet, and then I am going to do 4 single crochets in every stitch, and by the 5th one do a double crochet. I'm gonna do this and come back at the end of the row. And we are closing the loop on the 5th row. And you can see I have just 1 more stitch right before I close it at the top. And this definitely looks tighter now that I started to add more single crochets. So we're going to chain 2, we're going to flip our work, and this is starting to look pretty good. This is row 6, and this is probably going to be maybe the final row before I start actually doing the body of the hat. So I'm going to start with a single crochet right at the base, and I am going to put a double crochet in the next stitch and a double crochet on the same stitch. Now I am going to do 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the 7th one I'm going to put in a double crochet again, and I'm going to go do all that around this and come back when it is time to join it here at the end. So there was some thunder by the pool, and we were asked, all the people that were on the pool, to get indoors. So I got my kids indoors and they have showered, but I wanted to make sure at least I touch base with you on how to finish this project. I am sitting here in one of the many rooms that they have at the Wilderness Lodge that is so lovely. So I'm looking forward to finish the top of my hat, which is right here. I think it looks pretty good. And now what I'm gonna do, I am in row number, I wanna say 6 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So for the 7th row, I had made my chain, I had made a stitch, and I like the size that this has for the top of my head. So what I'm gonna do now is just do a double crochet for every single stitch around, and at that point I'm going to stop increasing the hat, and it's going to start forming, because this is the very top of the hat, top of my head, but I'm going to start making the walls all around it. So what we're going to do is, for every row after this, is just do one double crochet on every single stitch all around in every other row, flipping your work back and forth by the beginning of each row. And I'm thinking in about 5 rows I'll come back to show you what it looks like in my head. So now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to turn your work, and what we're going to do is, from now on, in every stitch we're going to do 3 double crochets. There's 1. Here is 2. And here is 3. Alright, so we're going to continue doing just like I did, 3 double crochets in every single stitch, and we're going to go all around the hat, and I'll meet you here when it's time to join again. So this is what it looks like once I put on the ruffles. It is gorgeous. I did 3 sets of ruffles. The first one was white, the second one was orange, and the third one was pink. And the little bundles of pink were not enough to put it all around one color around the hat. I actually had to divide it in 3 different colors, as you can tell, but I still think it looks gorgeous. So I'm going to keep it as is. I am going to make 2 ears, and I started experimenting with the first set of ears here. It actually started with a circle, and I crochet a half of the circle an additional side, and I'll show you how to do this, but this is what I'm envisioning for the ears, for the Minnie Mouse ears. Also, I want to put in a bow. I want to say I did a chain of about 30 stitches, and I will verify and put that on the chat, on the instructions of how to make this hat. So I'm going to make it into a little bow here with another little double crochet chain. I am determined to make this hat just with double crochets. So this is where we're going next. Let's keep on going. As Darlene tries to tackle me down. I'm here in my bathroom because I think it's the only place that you'll be able to see that, in fact, this hat glows in the dark. See? Come on. How cute is Minnie Mouse? Oh my goodness. Isn't she gorgeous? You can see I am the one wearing it. Isn't she cute? So this is what the hat looks like. Isn't it cute? The ruffles are on point and they're big and full. And the little ears, they do stand up on their own, and they're soft, which I like. And you can move the little bow, but it's definitely in there. It's not gonna fall off. Maybe you can see. Put a little mouth, a little nose, and some eyes, and you can get creative with that. I hope you like this project, and if you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really makes a difference. Also, please check out my playlist. I have great tutorials, and I actually even have recipes. So please share this video and give me a big thumbs up. Thank you, friends. I hope you liked this project. But before you go anywhere, I need to teach you how to make those ears. You will have to start the ears with a magic circle. The best way to do it, it is not my favorite thing to do, but it definitely does help, is by wrapping the yarn around your index finger twice. And you will have to grab your hook, insert it inside, pull the yarn through, as I'm indicating on the video. We're going to make 12 stitches around the magic ring. Once you've made all the stitches, join them with a slip stitch at the very top. You're going to turn your work, chain 2, and start all over again, increasing the amount of the ears. You're going to enter 2 stitches in each chain from the previous row. That will double the ear in size. Once the 2 circles are done, we can start working on a half a circle on the 3rd row. You're going to do a slip stitch at the top of the row, joining the 2 stitches together from the front and the end. Then you're going to chain two stitches, flip your work, and do half a circle for the very tip of the ear. When the ears are ready, we are going to attach them, sew them into the hat. But before that, I wanted to see what the face would look like on Minnie. I had made some eyes and a nose, but I thought that those eyes were really didn't match this hat in particular. I thought they were a little too large for what I wanted. I wanted a more delicate face in this hat. So I'm actually going to make the nose the size of the eye that I had envisioned previously for this hat, and maybe make the eye a little softer with lines and eyelashes. I will keep the eyes and nose that I made for this hat for another project that's coming up that I'm very excited about. To make the nose, we're going to make another magic circle with the 12 stitches, and you just have to pull real tight in the center so there's a really nice compact nose for us to use. After that, we're just going to make sure that the ears are secured. I would recommend for you to look at yourself or have someone help you to put the ears where you want them to be located. I attach the bow first, actually, and then I attach an ear right behind it. And when I attached the ear, I stitched it in from the back. So when I wore the hat, it kind of stood up and it actually looked really good. I had secured the ear with some yarn markers, and then I attached the ear that way.